On this episode of Inside the Blueprint, how one company can find the right real estate for your business. Plus, experts in the construction field that are helping save the planet and eliminate concrete waste. We'll hear from a company who's using solar panels to help transportation. These stories and so much more. Stay tuned. When you're looking for the right location for your business, there's a lot to consider. Luckily, Leaders Real Estate knows what you need and how to get you there.
Hey, I'm Nathan, the founder of Leaders Real Estate, and we're really established to give small companies the large company experience with our resources. The businesses we serve primarily are healthcare users who occupy more convenient, more accessible locations. Many people look at us as just another broker, but we are so much more than that. We've really built a foundation on strategy and analytics and really effort to help our clients make the best decisions possible. Of course, we help them then executing on that, often through brokerage or development efforts. One of the benefits of our firm is we are not geographically limited, so a lot of times we will follow our clients and projects into the markets that they feel have the most opportunity. So anywhere from all the way up in Maine to south to Florida and Texas, all the way to the Pacific Northwest.
Other companies do bits and pieces of a real estate transaction. But at Leaders Real Estate, they do all important aspects, including analytics, brokerage, corporate services, and development. Plus, they use something called the point of interest method to make the right match.
When we look at trying to understand, how we get that consistent traffic to this particular real estate location we're finding for our client, we look at the benefits of being near something that draws consistent traffic like a grocery store. So grocery stores, people tend to visit over twice a week, more than that if people don't like to plan, which is me certainly. And when you go by, a grocery store, you're also going by everything that's in front of that grocery store, across the street from the grocery store, and everything that's really around. So it becomes consistent, becomes familiar, and then when, if people can get a location that's by that grocery store that we're servicing, we can help them get that consistent traffic and exposure.
If you're looking for fractional commercial real estate ownership, they have programs for that as well. They offer large company solutions for companies of all sizes, and their clients and investors are benefiting in multiple ways. First, you're investing in the safest assets in the world, healthcare and real estate. Investors also have a targeted return of 12 to 16% annually. And lastly, you're able to sell your shares whenever you want with no minimum time commitment.
From a hypothetical perspective, the way that it works is, say you have a building that's worth $1 million that you buy, right? And so each share is going to be worth $10, which would mean you'd have 100,000 shares representing the $1 million of the building portfolio. And so the shares are represented as tokens on the blockchain. All that is just a complicated way of saying these are done traditionally the way any private fund is done, even the way that shares are exchanged publicly on the stock market. And so you could buy 100,000 shares for the entire building. You could buy, 500 shares or whatever amount you deem necessary. And how it works is that as time goes on and we continue to add more buildings into the fund, then the amount of new shares will be issued to account for that. We'll be raising capital on the side, and then the shares will grow in value. And we expect that value to grow disproportionately to other real estate value because we think that there's going to be a premium for the liquidity option, meaning the ease of transaction, the speed, the frictionless, all of that is going to come into play to where we think that we'll be trading at, maybe a 20, 30% premium to what traditionally private real estate funds would be trading for.
Blockchain technology is at the forefront of a real estate revolution, and Leaders Real Estate is leading the way.
All of our digital assets are done via blockchain technology. And so what that means is simply that we're utilizing the blockchain in order to speed up transaction times, take away all the friction, eliminate the intermediary, and allow the investors to sell to non-accredited investors. Because traditionally, in private funds, you have to sell your shares to an accredited investor, which maybe there is some, maybe there isn't, and it can take a long time. Utilizing blockchain technology just means that I can sell directly to whoever I want to my shares at any point in time for any reason. There's three things at play with our fund. So number one, it works the same traditionally as any sort of income fund, meaning you have shares that represent a percentage of the total fund. Number two is the fact that because we're utilizing digital assets and blockchain technology, there is no intermediary, there is no middle person, and so you can do all of these transactions very frictionless. And number three is the way that you actually purchase the real estate is very much the same as any sort of purchase. So there's capital raised, and then there are general partners, and you select a building. You purchase it using bank debt and using capital raised so that the underlying financial metrics are the same. So you're getting a good return on your capital invested because we're utilizing leverage. So all those things are the same, right? And so what we're doing is we're combining all of them together. So instead of having your money tied up traditionally for 5 years, 10 years in the way that normal funds operate, you can sell after 1 year at whatever fractional amount that you want to for any liquidity needs that you need. You could have a kid going to college, all of a sudden you want to cash out $50,000, $100,000 worth of your shares. You could have a wedding coming up, whatever it is, you can sell as much or as little as you want to, and that's kind of the differentiating factor.
So bottom line is we are for the right location for your business. So our job from the beginning all the way through the end, from the strategy to the execution, is to ultimately find the best location that meets your needs and ultimately carry it through to completion until you've got a signed lease in place.
So where would you turn when you need the right location for your business?
What really sets us apart from other companies in this sector is our objectivity. So we go into a market, we don't have pre-made landlord relationships where we're doing backdoor deals and we get certain incentives for putting people in a certain area. We really depend on the analytics, really let that focus and drive our site selection. So when we go into an area and say, okay, well, maybe we don't have a lot of these landlord relationships and things like that a lot of these other people have, but let's figure out what 4 intersections we need to focus on, in a hyper sense, and really just call every landlord and parcel that's at those intersections. We become more knowledgeable about what's currently going on in the market from an objective perspective, and we can aid people in that way. And that's really one of the benefits we can help offer our clients that really stands out from the rest.
We believe that the real estate is a huge catalyst for our clients' success. We'll love the opportunity to continue to support you as you continue to support the communities that you serve.
For more information about Leaders Real Estate, visit leadersre.com. And of course, visit our website, insidetheblueprint.com. New construction happens every day. An important component, concrete. Let's meet the experts at Atlantic Concrete Washout who are working to save the planet and eliminate concrete waste.
My name is Brian Doonan, President and CEO of Atlantic and National Concrete Washout. We place sealed containers on job sites where the mixer trucks and pump trucks wash out their contaminated water and excess concrete. Then we split it apart and recycle it. Well, we've been doing this 20 years, and the biggest thing is educating the public and general contractors and concrete subcontractors to do the right thing and dispose of the concrete washout correctly.
This is significant because in some areas you can't drink, swim in, or fish 40% of the water due to the concrete washout. But the good news is that Brian and his team are doing everything they can to keep it green and be environmentally responsible.
It's like pouring liquid Drano on the ground. It's got a very high pH and it needs to be contained correctly. Containers are completely sealed 100% so nothing spills out on the job site. Our roll-off trucks come in with a vacuum tank on it and we pump off all the contaminated water before we lift the containers so nothing spills out on the ground. We take it to our yard and the water's already split from the concrete, so it goes into another containment area, and then we recycle the concrete, turn it into fines or 57 stone. The best thing is nothing goes to the landfill and takes away the airspace of the landfill. We recycle 100% of our material.
When I met Brian, I met him through a mutual friend, probably over a beer. And I was a project executive and the purchasing manager for Turner Construction in Orlando. And we had large projects. That's pretty much what we focused on. And we're also focusing on environmentally friendly options. And I will say, when I met Brian and I found out that he had this company that recycled concrete, it just seemed like a great option to try.
At all of their locations around the country, they use special equipment to make sure the washout removal is done properly. And they work with local partners in each market.
The mixer truck puts their chute over the top of the container and rinses everything out in there. The concrete goes to the bottom and the water is lighter, so it rises to the top. Our container is completely sealed where nothing will spill out on the ground. We capture 100% of the concrete washout off the mixer trucks, and concrete pump trucks contain everything in the sealed container where nothing spills out on the ground. We were green before we started. We had no idea it was going to turn into such an environmental impact.
Yeah, things that I learned over time working with them was that, wow, it was actually cheaper to hire Brian on in Atlantic Concrete Washout. It cleaned up our job site some. We didn't have a bunch of patties laying here and there. It kind of organized our concrete trucks, where when they were done pouring, they had to go to a certain area and clean up and wash out. And then we had a path that was kind of predetermined, and it helped my staff, I'm going to say, in their pre-plan for the bigger concrete pours.
Not only is it the right thing to do, Brian says it's cheaper to remove the waste the correct way. And as you know, they live by this commitment.
It's cheaper to do it the right way, because by the time you put it on the ground, pay a $25 an hour guy and a $75 an hour machine, and pick it up off the ground, then put it in a trash dumpster, and then pay for the hauling on the trash dumpster, and then pay for landfill fees. It adds up to a lot more than what we charge. It's cheaper to do it the right way than it is to try to piece it together and wait for a fine. Every mixer truck hauls about 10 yards of material. And if you're doing an 85-story multi-floor complex, the more mixer trucks, the more washout we have. You can put about 50 to 75 mixer trucks per one container before it's full. We've been doing this about 20 years, and throughout the years we started tracking for the green building projects. The green building incentive, where we weigh it, but I know for a fact we've done more than 1 billion pounds of washout collected. We're green certified, and it goes a long way for contractors and developers to help them get points for their LEED certification. Being green, everything goes by weight, and concrete is extremely heavy. So you get more points using the concrete washout than you could with using 3 or 4 other different items.
For Atlantic Washout, I would highly recommend using them for more than one reason. First of all, it's good for the environment, okay? But more than that, it's a cost savings to your project. It doesn't seem like it at first, but when you start adding up the time that's involved with hauling the concrete spoils out, the cost to actually go around and clean up your job site and pick up these concrete patties that tend to gather here and there. Those 2 reasons, it's a cost savings there. And then I'm a believer in a nice organized job site, in a clean job site. You get better attitudes out of your workers, and you get just better quality work in general.
I just like to tell everyone that it's cheaper to do it the right way than it is to put it on the ground and do it the irresponsible way and get fined. At Atlantic and National Concrete Washout, we do it the correct way.
For more information about Atlantic Concrete Washout, visit their website, atlanticconcretewashout.com. And of course, visit our website, InsideTheBlueprint.com. Wouldn't it be great if you could conduct business anywhere in the world in literally any language? Well, now you can, with help from the experts at Verbatim Languages.
Our company provides interpretation and translation services. We work with many industries. I can almost say with all industries.
Our staff has a variety of certifications depending on the setting that they work in. In the medical setting, it's very important to have the proper qualifications. There are certain medical certifications to be able to work with patients, to be able to work in hospitals in that setting. In the court setting, for example, there's a whole nother set of certifications that are required to be able to correctly represent a client.
There are many reasons to use Verbatim's professional services. For example, just because someone is bilingual doesn't mean they can interpret or translate.
The difference between an interpreter and translator, although in our industry the term is often incorrectly used interchangeably, but in basic terms, interpretation is the means of communication verbally, and translation is through written communication, be it through documents or website or contracts.
And here's some great advice. Don't try to rely on a relative, friend, or app.
In a medical setting, for example, often patients will bring a family member or perhaps a neighbor, a friend, and while the intentions could be good and sometimes the intentions could also be bad, there's several reasons why this is not a good idea. Perhaps the family member doesn't want to quite give the bad news to the patient and kind of softens it up. And in a medical setting, the doctor truly needs the patient to understand the true diagnosis or prognosis to be able to be a true part of their own treatment. In my personal experience, one such case that I had in a medical setting, the patient was an older patient was having their son do the interpreting for the doctor, and the interpreter, the son, continuously said the patient was having pain and continued to ask for higher dosages and a wider array of pain medication, only to find out months later that the interpreter, the son, was actually abusing the patient's medication and purposely requesting higher dosages and more medication. This is a huge problem, even a legal problem, that could have been avoided had a professional interpreter been present.
They're available worldwide 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and offer services in over 100 languages.
This is important because, as we know, business doesn't stop. Whether you're in Japan, in Tokyo, whether you're in London, in New York, or Mexico City, 24 hours around the clock. You don't want language to be a barrier to be able to sign that contract, get ahead. And even with languages, one key thing that's important is understanding the need for a professional interpreter. Even let's take Spanish. Over 20 countries speak Spanish, but it's not across the board that you interpret or translate without actually being aware of each country. A certain term in Puerto Rico, for example, can mean a total different term in Argentina. So within 100 languages and dialects, there's even much more to be thought of than just languages.
They also offer sign language services.
It's extremely important for a non-hearing person to have an ASL interpreter because often they are a marginalized community that feels isolated. But when an interpreter is provided for them, they feel more a part of the community or the mainstream.
So when you're ready to conduct business anywhere in the world, in any industry, at any event, large or small, Verbatim Languages is the one to speak to.
I really hate when people say lost in translation. With a true professional interpreter, a true professional company, nothing should be lost in translation.
For more information about Verbatim Languages, visit their website, verbatimlanguages.com. And of course, visit our website, insidetheblueprint.com. Transportation systems function to move people, goods, and ideas. Engineers work constantly to improve efficiency, reduce pollution and cost on semi-trucks and motor coaches. One company, Bergstrom Incorporated, is helping revolutionize the transportation industry.
Ground transportation is so important in the United States. It moves everything we use, everything we eat, and everything we make. Bergstrom's been helping transportation by creating solutions that allows customers to not have to sacrifice comfort or safety in order to do their jobs.
More than 70 years of experience in the climate control industry allows this family-owned company to understand the challenges that the transportation industry faces.
Bergstrom produces heating and air conditioning systems for any type of vehicle, mostly other than the automotive market. Bergstrom started in 1949 with just a handful of employees because we naturally didn't have a lot of customers.
But how did Bergstrom become the leading designer and manufacturer of cab climate control systems for heavy-duty commercial trucks, off-highway machines, and specialty vehicles?
At Bergstrom, we've honed our skills and capabilities in 3 key areas: manufacturing, innovation, and quality.
We are also constantly monitoring the transportation industry changes with our relationship with our customers by participating to trade shows and by participating to many technical committees.
Our manufacturing process is pretty simple. Never be satisfied and continuously improve, whether that's the process, the product, or even the people.
Bergstrom has invested heavily in vertical integration. We've installed state-of-the-art sheet metal fabrication equipment, as well as injection molded plastics. In our facilities around the world, we also produce heat exchangers and evaporator coils, as well as brushed and brushless DC motors. Bergstrom's investment in vertical integration has allowed us to have some of the best delivery performance in the industry, while supply issues and disruptions were running rampant. Our vision is trust, to be the technology leader recognized for unparalleled solutions in thermal management.
Six Sigma is an automotive methodology that uses statistical analysis to rectify problems, whether they be quality issues or process issues. We use throughout the organization, whether it be on manufacturing or even in our office, that helps us eliminate waste and solve problems and make everything more efficient. Another way we improve our manufacturing process is through our mastery program. It allows our employees to continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to be more proficient at their jobs.
Bergstrom has developed many unique patented no-idle HVAC systems for all types of commercial vehicles.
20 years ago, Bergstrom developed the first electrical engine-off heating and air conditioning system for semi-trucks. Recently, we launched a similar product for smaller vehicles, the e-Cool-Park system, as well as the e-Comet coach, dedicated to motor coach. The difference between the conventional HVAC system and our system is that a conventional system needs the engine to be running to produce heating and air conditioning. The e-Comet coach system runs off batteries that are being charged when the coach is driving. In parking conditions, the compressors of the e-Comet coach system use the stored energy into the batteries to run an auxiliary air conditioning system. The system can be connected to solar panels installed on the roof. This will increase the runtime of the e-Comet coach and will reduce the maintenance on the batteries.
E-Climate Coach is a perfect example of a product that allows you to save the environment without having to give up customer comfort.
And for sleeper tractors, work trucks, or fleet vehicles, Bergstrom developed e-Cool-Park, an AC solution that's easy on the environment and your wallet.
The e-Cool-Park system works for a multitude of vehicles. It has been designed for Class 3 to 7 vehicles, which includes day-cab trucks, pickup trucks, vans, and SUVs. Our system is already being used by police fleets, municipal vehicles, and work trucks, just to name a few. The e-Cool-Park system uses a similar technology than the night system and the e-Comet coach system. The difference with e-Cool-Park is that it's fully integrated into the air conditioning loop of the vehicle.
With great green HVAC solutions, Bergstrom has revolutionized the cab climate system.
The night system was the first solution in the Class 8 market to solve the problem of idling.
Our experience with Bergstrom has been very positive. We've enjoyed working with them and developing some solutions for eliminating idling in work trucks. Their products and our products go really well hand in hand.
We've been able to utilize the Bergstrom system, AC system on our service trucks to reduce the idling and hours on our system and to improve the usability for our technician.
Our system utilizes a set of batteries that are charged while the vehicle is moving. We then utilize that energy at night to maintain the temperature and comfort for the driver without ever idling the engine. The night system offers benefits in reduced maintenance, lowering your carbon footprint. Our products are the only factory installed option at nearly every truck manufacturer in the world.
At Bergstrom, we're proud to have a history of offering green thermal management solutions. We plan to continue to innovate and develop energy-efficient products for our current and future markets.
For more information on how Bergstrom delivers green technology for a better environment and their customers save money by implementing engine-off solutions for all types of commercial vehicles, visit bergstrominc.com. And of course, visit us at insidetheblueprint.com. Thanks for watching Inside the Blueprint. For more information on any of the products you saw today, or to find out how to become part of the show, please visit insidetheblueprint.com.